Thank you, and welcome. Good morning, everybody. It's great to see you here. I just want to share with you a few perspectives about the industry and my experiences, and I hope some of it will resonate with you. Having worked previously in a leading insurance player and subsequently, as Sheila mentioned, with some of the large corporates today, none of which I'm going to attribute any of these problems with, the thing that we experience continually, and it's a big surprise, is organisations of very significant size and spend levels on technology who are, and these are real challenges they're facing today, waiting between 2 to 4 years to launch new products. So all of these things point to an industry stifled from product innovation and not able to be truly responsive to customer needs. So looking around at all the technology that's available today, surely the industry can do better.
INSTANDA and tools like it are kind of fundamental to the ability to change fast within the insurance sector. So we were targeted on doing two things when we started. One was to accelerate some of the things that we had on the strategic agenda. By that I mean those things which I'm sure all of you would recognise that circulate around the bottom of your strategic list of must-haves from the board, which you never quite get round to, that are always on the next year because you run out of money, you run out of resource. So the second thing that we had as an objective within Fast Track was actually to accelerate things onto the strategic agenda. So that is taking some of those things that we weren't previously looking at, that we hadn't even started thinking about, and saying, you know what, we really ought to have a look at this, because some of the opportunities that are going to be out there by embracing some of these new mediums or market challenges are going to be really important to us. And then I came across INSTANDA and the offering that they had of a kind of policy system out of the box with configuration only. And some people said to me, well, why do we want that? You've already kind of moved on here. Why are we doing that as well? We can't have too many different things in the organisation. And I actually looked at it as a very different type of proposition, because what we were able to build, and where we chose to build it, was very bespoke, experimental stuff that we wanted to try in the market that is unlike any other insurance policies. In some ways, some of the early stuff we could probably have done with a product like INSTANDA actually, but we were looking at that for the really bespoke stuff. But to churn out yet another one with even 6 weeks development effort, and then have the responsibility of running that in the long term afterwards, was less attractive than the idea of doing a purely configuration based, just set up your parameters and do it. And the development component of the build in INSTANDA was actually way lower than 6 weeks. So in terms of physical mandates that we would have put into it.
You need to understand not only technology strategies, but where your next competitors are coming from. And also, if you have a look at the way millennials do business, you need to understand that experiences equals sales. If you're not in their experiences and in their world, you will not get any business from them. And they will go to the Facebooks of this world, they will go to the Instagrams of this world, and they will go and get insurance services from Facebook. Trust me, it's coming. It will be here in 12 months. That's just the way the digital platforms work. They enable customer change. There is no way that a startup will survive enterprise process. You will kill the very thing that you're striving to embed. So if you can come up with a simple 5 or 10 step process that you can hand out to the startup to say, these are the 10 ways that you can onboard into this company, that is absolutely the first key change that you should make.
I suppose two key challenges. One really is about agility. There is nothing more harrowing and scary for an insurer than a lack of agility. And as a business leader, it allows you to get on. Now, there are all sorts of aspects to consider there, particularly in the industry we work in the regulation, in the compliance. But in an industry where traditionally the legacy providers built back years ago do not provide that, Here is a platform that does. I mean, the other thing I think it's worth sharing, that part of the journey for me was being abreast of technology change, seeing and being very excited by the whole you don't need to buy it, you can rent it model. And the bit that blew me away was really following something like Amazon. Going back to INSTANDA, the legacy providers we were using really didn't offer something that was quick, and that was dynamic, and that was agile. And I couldn't do my job without it, to be honest. Or I could do a job that the industry's done for some time, which is just churning out similar products in similar timeframes. But I really felt we could do it in 35 days. And in the spirit of setting records, I'm not sure what the record is for the quickest product build, and I'm sure there are quicker ones and there are very many different products. But we did build that in 35 days. We launched it in a tradable fashion. It wasn't 100% of what we needed, but it was enough in 35 days at a fraction of the cost that the legacy providers were asking for.
I think our biggest challenge has actually been still adapting our corporate processes to the idea of the speed that the IT can be delivered. And I think that's probably my closing message, that we're kind of heading to a world where IT isn't actually the problem, we are. The problem is corporate process, corporate legacy, and I don't mean the technology. I mean our practices, the way we think, the way we approach stuff, our ability to experiment, and our willingness to take risks.
So I've just wanted to share a few truths to you. In summary, just to close out, what has driven us on as a team and why are we where we are today? Well, we asked ourselves the question around some of the problems we were trying to solve. Surely the industry deserves and can do better. We thought yes, so we set about designing INSTANDA in a way that addressed those fundamental truths and allowed potential organisations to work with something that hopefully they would find fun and enjoyable, which is not something you talk about in software terms in insurance usually. We aim to remove some of the heartache of change, not all of it, but it certainly, INSTANDA gives you a much safer and lower risk way to get started.